Welcome to my first live stream. I'm Camille, and tonight we're going to have a special guest, Jessica Kaufman. She just recently moved from New York to Miami, and she's going to share with us 5 things you need to know before you move to Miami. So while I get her on stage, I'd love for you to comment and let me know where you're viewing this show. So let me go ahead and get Jessica right now.
Hi, Camille. How are
Hi,
you?
Jessica. How are you?
Me.
Of course. So nice to have you. I know everybody's excited to hear your things that we need to know.
Yes.
So before we dive into that, I'd love for you to share with us who you are and what you do.
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm honored that I'm your first guest on your live YouTube web series. I'm very excited. I've never been live on YouTube before. I've done some Instagram live shows myself talking about real estate. As you know, Camille, I am a New York City real estate broker as well as a Florida real estate broker. And I do mostly residential transactions, including commercial, retail spaces and sales and rentals. I've really been enjoying living in Florida. It almost feels like you're living in vacation land while working. I've been enjoying the beach, the sun, and tennis.
Love it. So definitely tell me, I'm curious, like what inspired your move from New York to Miami? And did you visit Miami before you came here?
Yes, I've been down here for vacation. I came down with my family last winter and really enjoyed being at the beach and being able to eat outside. And I have some friends from college who live down here as well. My brother decided that he wanted to come down here for the winter because his office told him he didn't have to work from there indefinitely. And it was getting cold in New York, and we figured, why not change up the scenery? We can be outside, play tennis, play golf, and just enjoy being outside. And I decided to come with.
Very nice. So I know a lot of times that's what brings a lot of people here, the warm weather.
Yes.
And so, well, let's jump right in to your reasons or your top 5 things that people should know.
Sure.
So I'm gonna make you the star again, and here we go.
Well, thank you. Well, I would say it's always sunny here. I would recommend bringing a hat, sunblock, light clothes, because it's very hot and you really have to protect your skin down here. You don't realize being outside for an hour on the beach, whether you're doing yoga, playing tennis, is really harsh on the skin, and it can also dehydrate you as well. So I would recommend protecting yourself. As a New Yorker, I'm always carrying a bag with lots of goodies, whether it's sunblock, sunscreen, a hat, water. I would recommend you always have to come armed. What do you think? What do you bring with you during the day, Camille?
I mean, honestly, for me, I love the warm weather. I bask in the warm weather. But I definitely recommend for sure that you want to wear sunscreen.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you might be in your car, and if you don't have the tinted car,
right,
you want to make sure that you're protecting your skin.
Right.
And it's funny that you mentioned the weather, because you moved here, I think you told me in October, and
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna get ready for even more. You better prepare for even more warm weather when the summer comes. So you haven't seen anything yet.
I've heard.
So I know you have more to share with us. So
the second thing I think, which was surprising, is that people are so friendly down here. I found anywhere I went, whether it's waiting in line at Starbucks for a latte or going to a restaurant and sitting next to people who are also transplants or native Floridians. People are just super friendly, open to talking about their life, what they do every day, and who they are. I've met so many transplants down here from Chicago, from California, also New York, that are just willing and open to meeting new people, because everyone's here for an experience. And this is all part of being in Miami, meeting people and, experiencing life with them.
Yeah, and so that's the funny thing, because I know there are people that I hear, well, people from Miami are rude or they're not friendly, but my personal experience has also been that Miamians are friendly. So
Yeah.
you know.
Perhaps coming from New York, it's a harder city to live in because you have a lot more people. You're living in a more condensed lifestyle. We're used to being a little shorter with people and nice and friendly, but we always have things to do and in a hurry to get to places. Here, everyone's relaxed, happy to be outside, living more of a vacation type lifestyle while working and enjoying the outdoors.
Very nice. And what about the walkability in terms of what you have experienced?
Well, I'm sure you've been to New York many times. You can just walk the grid, north, south, east, and west. It's very easy. The lights are all in a sequence. It's interesting how Miami was developed. It's not a straight walking city. There are parts that are very dangerous to walk across 8 lanes of traffic. I learned that the first day I got here when I went to get groceries. I nearly got hit by several cars, and I see why people drive everywhere now. But
Yeah.
I live in an area where it's walkable and you can walk to the beach, to the water. And I like that aspect of being in Miami. But most of the area is not walkable. And you either have to have a car, Uber, or some other form of transportation.
So, and if you don't mind sharing, where do you live generally?
I live in an area called SoFi. It's south of Fifth. It's right near South Point Park and the marina. You have the bay there. A lot of great restaurants like Monty's. I'm sure you've been to Monty's, especially on a fun Sunday night listening to live music and watching the gorgeous sunset cast over our Magic City.
Very nice. And yeah, I mean, what I would add to that is, you definitely need a car here in Miami for the most part, unless you live in parts like Miami Beach, like South Beach or Brickell. Other than that, most times you definitely need a car. So
it's funny, I'll walk to tennis and someone said to me once, "Oh, I saw you walking." And I'm so used to walking everywhere in New York and I love the exercise. So it takes getting used to. I think people drive a block or two, as opposed to in New York, if you have to go maybe 15 blocks, we would take a car or subway.
Yes.
Do you drive a lot in Miami yourself?
Honestly, most of the times I either Uber if I'm going somewhere or if I have a meeting or work. But other than that, I'm walking to the supermarket, I'm walking to get coffee, I'm walking to meet friends. That is typically so for me, I love that. For me, it's I'm probably getting my car just once or twice a week.
Okay, very rare.
So moving on to point 4.
Manana time. Well, as a New Yorker, we're always in a hurry. We always have 20 things on our list to get done. It seems like it's a little slower down here, which is kind of nice and what we like about being in Miami. Not everything has to be done yesterday, has to be done in 10 minutes. We're able to slow down and just enjoy life and sit for a coffee, almost like you're in Europe where, you stop by for a drink, have a bite to eat and, chit chat with friends and family and see the passersby. And next thing you know, half your day has gone by. On the flip side, if you're in a hurry and you have to go somewhere, it seems like people don't necessarily see a sense of urgency that you're in a hurry and you've got to get somewhere for an appointment. Sometimes you'll make plans with friends and it's, let's say, for 7 o'clock and they show up at 8 o'clock, not like the typical 10-15 minute rule, more like the hour rule. So it takes getting used to. But it's an interesting juxtaposition, having lived in both cities, to see the differences. It's kind of nice to slow down and enjoy life in that way.
Yeah. And that is something for me too, because I am an on time and often early person.
Okay.
So I get somewhere and it's funny because if it's someone that doesn't know me, then and I get there on time or early, they're like, wow, that's so unusual because people here are usually late. Usually it's like, oh, the traffic, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. So yeah, I definitely have experienced that too.
So do you bring a book with you? How do you fill your time if you're waiting for somebody?
Well, I usually have my phone. There's always so many things that are happening. So I'm probably going to check emails or planning my next YouTube video or something. I'm always busy. So, but I prefer to people to be on time. Like I don't really like waiting on people, to be honest, but I do always have things to keep me occupied.
That's great. I find even if I'm sitting somewhere and I'm waiting, maybe I'll catch up on emails or call a friend and,
Okay. It looks like she froze. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like she froze for now, but let me know if you have any questions that you would like to ask her in the meantime. Okay, and it looks like she is back. All right, that was quick.
Sorry about that. That's another thing. Unstable
Wi-Fi. That's what happens when you go live. Things happen.
It's okay. We're willing to roll with the punches.
Yes. So I know you had one more point that you wanted to share with us, and that is the clothing.
The clothing. So we like to dress up in New York, especially in all black. Why? Because it's easy. It goes with everything. It doesn't show the dirt. People are very casual here. You can go to lunch in athleisure wear. You can go to dinner in athleisure wear. But then I also see the other side where people get very dressed up, whether it's during the day, they're wearing 10-inch heels and lots of makeup and all their clothes and jewelry. But it's kind of nice to see the mix and to be able to play up to one or down to the other. Do you find going out, you dress up a lot, or what's your go-to?
I mean, I personally like to go out. I mean, I personally like to dress up in general. Of course, I like to have my low-key time too and just have my messy hair and go out. But in general, I like to dress up. And like you, it's funny because, and I know I've talked about it too, with my brother, where, he mentioned that when he's been here before and he sees people with bikinis or whatever here, and it's interesting because as I see it too. You see people riding with their bike wearing a bikini or something on the streets, and it's not something that you see very often in other places. The other thing that I've seen though is that on the other side you can see someone dressed up in a suit and riding on their skateboard to work.
Right.
So I don't know if you've seen that too, but I've definitely seen that.
Not down here, not yet. Perhaps, as the months go along, when people are going back to the office.
Yeah, I'll probably more see that in Brickell. You probably more see that in Brickell, but I've definitely seen that, and I'm like, wow, okay. So I'm also curious to know, is there anything that you wish you knew before moving to Miami?
I don't know. I think you can't necessarily plan 100% for living in a city. What was nice and a surprise to me is that so many New Yorkers and people from Chicago and California with like minds were also moving here, also didn't know where their life was going in a few months and were open to meeting new people and playing tennis and socializing. So I've connected with lots of people who have relocated down here, whether it's during the winter, it's for the year, or permanently. It's been nice to be able to connect to people in that way. And it's almost like being an adult camp. You kind of don't have the opportunity, I guess, after college or grad school to meet so many amazing adults in one quote unquote semester.
Right. Right. Well, it looks like you actually have someone who wants to say hi.
Oh, let's see.
Yes. What's up,
Hi,
Jess?
Chad. How are you?
Is that one of your friends? Does he?
Yes, a friend of mine from New York.
Oh, nice.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, and we also have Daisia from Philadelphia. She says,
hi, Daisia.
So yeah, thank you all of you for joining us tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to type it in the box there as well. We're going to be on for a few more minutes.
Interestingly enough, in terms of real estate, which is what I am doing down here, is that so many people from New York, from Florida, and other places are buying down here. They're really investing and really feel like there's a need to own their own home, which is great.
Yeah.
And, you know, the inventory is there if they want something amazing, but it's hard to, hard to figure out exactly what you want. So I'm here to help if anyone needs it.
Yes. So anybody, if you need any real estate help, Jessica is here to help you. Are there any particular places that you specialize in, or?
Miami Beach.
Okay, so Miami Beach. So if you're in the Miami Beach area and you're looking for a place, and that's rentals and sales, both?
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. Nice.
In addition, I can help with the commercial real estate. I know Wynwood is booming. So many new restaurants and bars are opening up where others have shuttered, unfortunately, during the pandemic. I can certainly help with that. And if they need a referral, I have a big network of agents throughout the country as well.
And as you talk about places and booming and restaurants and everything, I'm always looking at your Instagram, which I'm going to share with everyone as well. But so many places. Do you have any recommendations that you'd want to give us?
Oh my God, so many. It's interesting. I never know if anyone looks, but it's really for me. I enjoy taking photos. I love looking through life, through a camera. I actually went to a great new restaurant called Abba, which is Hebrew for father, right in south of Fifth. They have Tel Avivian food, which means food from Tel Aviv in Israel. It's very clean ingredients and it's really tasty. You can get hummus and beets and it's really flavorful and colorful. It's opened by the owner, Oren, who is also an owner of Pura Vida. I'm sure you've heard of Pura Vida,
definitely.
Which is ever expanding. They have one on West Ave, one in the Design District, Edgewater, Washington Ave. I think they just opened one in Palm Beach and one near Bell Harbor. So I think they are as expansive as and there's a need for clean, easy food that's just good quality and lots to eat.
Yes. So Daisy, she asked a question. Do you work in Naples?
I don't, but if you're interested in looking for something in Naples, I would be happy to find you the best realtor who is there.
And she's also asking best seafood. Do you have any recommendations for best seafood?
Well, I just went to Kiki on the River. It's a lot of fun, and I would recommend checking out the scene there. The food's amazing, and there's a fun I won't give his name because it's funny, a magician there who came over to our table, almost like being in a bar mitzvah or a wedding, and played with cards and his ring, and it was a lot of fun and entertaining.
Okay.
What about you? What are some of your favorites?
I like Milos. As for Milos is good. I mean, there are honestly so many different ones that I like. I mean, I like gosh, there's Mila as well, which is a new one, which I've been to recently. And it just really depends on what it is that I'm looking for and the area that I'm going to be in. But God, there's so many choices. That's the other thing about here. There are so many choices and so many cuisines. Like there's a diverse number of cuisines. And Chad is giving a recommendation right now, Prime 112. Have you been or?
I have not been this go round, but in years past I have, and they always have great food, great atmosphere, and great service.
So I have my last question for you, and if anybody else has any questions, definitely type it in the chat. But my last question for you that I'm curious about is, people are always asking me about dating and things like that nature. So I'm curious from your point of view, in your experience, have you noticed any differences in terms of dating in New York versus here, or not really?
I don't know if I've seen that much of a difference. I think people are open to dating in New York as well as in Florida. But one thing I do think is interesting dating during COVID as opposed to pre-COVID is it's almost awkward when you meet someone new. What are their protocols? Do you shake their hand? Do you kiss their cheek? Do you give them a fist pump, or do you just say hi? How do you greet people? Are you comfortable sitting at a table with them, or do you want to do something more outdoors like a bike ride or something else? So I think that's one thing which is interesting. What's been so lovely is that if you're dating during COVID and you don't have to be in an office, people are more open to dating people from other states, in addition to going to other states to see other people and meet them. Because if you don't actually have to be in an office and you can, quote, be a digital nomad and work from wherever, to say you can't live somewhere and still work in the same job. Who knows who cares what city you actually are in, as long as you're getting your work done.
That's true. That's true.
It's like no matter what area code you're in.
That's true. That we do have that somewhat of flexibility now. I mean, it seems like things are going to be on the move to improving, hopefully, in that way. So who knows what life is going to look like in 6 months, but yes.
I think people are going to be called back slowly into the office, probably post Labor Day, whether they're going to perhaps work 2 and 3 days in the office or do A and B weeks or continue to work from home will be determined. But I have a lot of friends that are itching to get back into the workplace itself. They think it's more formal and easier. I don't really have that sense. I feel like my office is the city, our apartments, our houses, and that's really my office. So they always say, if you're out in the field and you're out with clients, it's better while you're in real estate. You don't want to be sitting in an office.
Yes. Okay, so I'll take one more question. What is the COVID mask situation in Miami nightlife? Hard to social distance in Philadelphia.
Well, do you want to take that?
Sure. So I mean, right now, when you walk out in Miami, you can see people wearing masks and you can see people not wearing masks. So I definitely see a mixture of both. And there's no mask mandate. However, when you go to restaurants, you have to wear your mask when you enter or, different indoor type of establishments. But then once you sit down, then you can take your mask off. If you have to go to the restroom, you have to put your mask back on again. But there's no official mask mandate when you're walking out.
And it's interesting, when I first got down here to Miami, nobody was wearing a mask, whether it was ill-fitting, it was sitting below their nose, below their mouth, below their chin. People didn't really know. But slowly but surely, more New Yorkers, more Chicagoans and Californians came and had a good influence on the area. And you saw everybody wearing a mask that fit properly, and they wore it all the time. So it kind of made me feel more comfortable in the area.
Yes, I see what you mean. Well, I know that you are the time crunch, but I wanted to say hi to my mom. My mom just said interesting information, join the conversation.
Oh.
So,
Woo!
Jessica, thank you so much for joining. Thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. I'm gonna have another guest next week, so make sure to tune in at 8 o'clock next week. Thanks again, and enjoy the rest of your night. Bye.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
Yes, enjoy your night. Bye.